The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 358 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. We're going to call this one on to the next as we move on to the next round of the League's Cup in style, as always, getting the job done. Clarity, of course, is now presenting itself in the brackets. There is a chance, there is a possibility that somehow, some way, we could pull it off in this tournament without playing a single Liga MX team. I think I'm right in this, but it's looking that way. Really interesting developments in terms of the brackets. Fun times, that's for sure. Shout out to everybody, of course, that went to the game yesterday. I know it was a little weird for everybody, but hey, we'll bounce back. We'll get a bigger crowd soon enough. Of course, we've got Tony, we've got Bam on the road trying to stay safe as he comes across this thing. Tony, I'm going to jump over to you first, sir. How are you doing after another lovely night in the North End?
I'm doing pretty well. Tired. It was super hot is the best way to say it. More humidity than hot, but doing over well. This tournament is a pathway to the Champions League. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't care what they call it. But it's like the opposite. The opposite league doesn't really care about this league as much. It seems like it.
They got enough teams in the show already, right? So
Yeah.
they're not desperate to be there. Also, let's be real, they're just kicking things off on their season, and theirs, of course, is much more cutthroat. So why take the risk? I gotta say, I was figuring something like this would eventually happen with this. I didn't expect it in the second tournament, but here we are. There seems to be one that's really trying, like you said, and the other is like, well, it's cash grab. It is what it is. We'll play our games. We'll move on. I think we're seeing that, guys. I think it's getting kind of obvious there. Of course, we're all in it. We're doing our thing. Bam, I know you've been super busy. Did you get a chance to watch the game at all yesterday?
No, unfortunately, during the kickoff in the game, I was waist deep into a stormwater pit trying to figure out where the blockage was. So, kicking updates on my phone, saw that we had a good 2-0 win. That's all that really matters, especially when we play Austin. Look, this tournament, I thought it was going to be more for Liga MX teams to be able to play more games in America, but even their fans aren't showing up to it. So let's just get rid of this tournament.
Right? I mean, think about that. We're sacrificing a century-old tournament for this. Okay. That's not aging well, is it? So I'll just leave it at that. But hey, no, I won't. I won't. But hey, let's get into it. We got a good win again against Austin. Not the prettiest win, but definitely playing into our style. Of course, that would be a 2-0 victory. Bouanga and Oliveira getting on the score sheet. But of course, the story is the story. Lineups were kind of interesting for this one. We went a little bit more serious, I'd say, with what we were fielding. Bogus was up top. Bouanga on one side, Martinez on the other. Pretty strong front line. Midfield, pretty classic, right? Sanchez, Atuesta in the mix. Campos and Palencia playing as wing backs, sometimes in the mid, sometimes in the back, depending on need. Long, Chanot, and Murillo, that's as strong as you can get for our three center backs, were in place. And of course, Lloris was back in net. So, yeah, a strong, decent lineup, not comparing to that nasty Vancouver one that I really don't want to talk about. Yeah, it's kind of the strongest thing I could think of. Otherwise, there's maybe one other change, but we'll see him later. Now, what did Austin field for this game? Of course, they were riding a high. They've taken down two Ligameki sides, had a lot of confidence. They went with Drusi up front. No shock, right? Bukhari and Gallagher were also up front as well as their wingers. They had Ring in the midfield with Pereira and Wolf. Surprising, right? Hedges and Heinz Ike were their center backs. Dessler and Barrow, I'll just go like that, were defenders, of course, and Stuver was in the net. Now, what transpired? It didn't take us long, let's be honest, getting into this mix. I'm going to go over to you, Tony, as I surprise him into this. Give us the download, man. What were the highlights of this one?
The highlights were pretty much a very hot night, but in the 11th minute, a right when they were cutting back from the Giroud Will Ferrell conversation, a great pass by Lloris thinned it out, and then Bouanga just pretty much finished it off a little bit off the keeper, just a nice quick little deflection and into the goal, and we're up 1-0 up in the 11th minute, and a couple fouls, Mike Drewsley's and Martinez each picking up a yellow card for each side. But overall, it looked like we were just playing off the back foot and playing counterplay for them. We're letting them dictate how they wanted to play, and we, we're just going after them as soon as we got an opportunity. Mind you, the field was destroyed because of a boxing match that we had over the weekend. And so when you saw the field conditions, they were bad. So
yeah, it looked rough. It looked terrible. From my perspective, because I didn't get to actually go to this one, it didn't look pretty at all. It looked dangerous. I got to be honest. It looked dangerous for the players. I would have just truly hated that, playing on that field like that. But hey, Cash Grab Cup needs to play, man, and need to play in the big house. So they got to play. Guess what? There's a concert this weekend at BMO, right? Dave Grohl and the boys are coming from the Foo Fighters. So it's going to get wrecked a little bit more before we play the next one. Fun times. That being said, first half, get a good goal. A lovely Lloris assist, his first assist for us. Well done, sir. And then, of course, the second half kicks off. Pretty much the back and forth, absorbing what they can offer against us, and we bide our time, right, Tony?
Before the halves even starts, Oliveira comes in for Martinez. As everyone's been hard on Martinez for the game. Mind you, he's still very young. We're not talking like 20s. We're talking still teenager-esque player. So mind you, it was still getting back into full rhythm from the red card / injury that happened over the past couple months. So he's still not full effect. This is a perfect tournament, honestly, to get him back into shape. But Oliveira comes out, and pretty much about like 20 minutes later into the game, Oliveira with an assist from Bogus. Mind you, Bogus battled for that ball. It was a very he battled, jumped, got spin move, hit, find Oliveira, and luckily Oliveira was able to put it into the back of the net because he shoots, it gets deflected off the defender and goes in. We could have had a couple more opportunities to put it away with 3 more goals. I felt we were gun shy, but 2-0 win against Austin. We advance. We move on to the next tournament, which will be, as most of you have already seen, this coming up Tuesday. And from what the scores are that I've seen, if it's final, not yet, it's most likely going to be San Jose because they're up 4-0.
4-0. They're up by a man. 83rd minute, guys, as we do this episode. This one's in the books. That's for sure. San Jose next. Tuesday kickoff. I know, another midweek. That's what this tournament does to you. That's okay. I'm enjoying watching the Olympics anyway, so don't mess up that vibe. It'll end by then and we can get back to normal, I guess. But yeah, done and dusted, let's be honest with this game. I got to say, the Christian Oliveira goal, again, he keeps producing, but Bogus, man, that was beautiful. I mean, the shake off, the fight for that ball to get it past to Oliveira. He's on another level for us at this point. He is one of these stars. There's no doubt about that. And I hope we can hold on to him, even though, if Griezmann is coming this way, maybe we can't, but hopefully we can. It's been good. It's been strong from him. Best season yet by far. We are blessed with his level of play at this point. And it brings us to that, right? We know Giroud was in the stands. We saw Giroud come out for the Sha-La-La. That was fun to see as Denny Bouanga gave him a bit of instruction there. Tony had a front row view to that. How was that, sir?
It was fun. Bouanga was teaching them how to do it and understand what it was, how to do the 3-point punch, which is kind of odd to do it. Yes, it is tradition to do the 3-point punch, but only when you get 3 points. So yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Again, for this tournament, it's really weird. mind you, I do care. Like I do know that Drew needs to learn the traditions out here, as him coming from Chelsea and Milan. There are very good traditions out there, so he understands supporter culture. He understands the traditions that come with clubs. And mind you, we are still a young club compared to those clubs, but traditions, no matter what, traditions are traditions, no matter where you go.
Hey, having a star player on our side that's willing to jump in and be a part of that from the get-go, it's much appreciated. Let's be real. Very much appreciated. So to see him there, to see him appear, I think that's promising. I know he needed to, but he just came to town. But he didn't have to come down the field. He didn't have to play all that stuff. He did it anyway. So good on him for that. That's good. Overall, my impressions of the match is cool. Do what you got to do. Move on. Do the part. Defend well. What else do you need? Now you got to get ready for another MLS team that you're very, very familiar with. And I think that's my takeaway. I wouldn't put too much into it. If another team had made it to the next round, it'd have a different feel. I got to be honest. But knowing who's coming to town, play your game, do your best with it. You know how to approach these teams. Stay the course. That's simple. What happened with Vancouver, I know we didn't get a chance to really cover that. Hey, it happens, right? It was a good, hard-fought draw, and then we lost on a goofball penalty setup. Whatever. Again, let it move. The way we play is the way we play. And if we play our game in our house, like we did this last match, I'm good. I'm feeling confident. Tony, your overall views of the match?
Overall, again, it's a game that we need to win. It's an opponent that we'll see later on in the future into leagues. But again, the whole point of this cup, as I said before in the beginning of the episode, is to play teams that we normally don't play. And this is the draw that was supposed to be. This is why we're pushing Leagues Cup. Garber says, mind you, Garber has kind of backtracked on those comments in the lead up to this, saying we're going to do more for US Open Cup and everything like that. And these numbers, again, 12,000, these are the numbers that 12,000 with everything open is the same numbers that we had with not the top, not Fields Club, not the other side, not Fields Club, not the uppers, nothing opened. And there's the same amount of people we drew to get the games. I know some people couldn't make it, and it's just, I think this kind of cup is kind of burning a lot of supporters and fans out, because it's, again, cash money grab. But again, at the end of the day, what is most important about this is a window into Campeones Cup or Champions League or whatever it is they want to call it nowadays. Champions League.
Champions Cup.
Yeah, Champions Cup. There you go. Champions Cup. Stupid. Again, CONCACAF being CONCACAF, but this is the opportunity for us to get into that tournament, which is the most important thing to do. So this is one way. Mind you, yes, we are in the semis against Seattle, which we might have to face.
Not semis. This is the way. There's a ways to go still.
No, semis for US Open Cup.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, which is another cup, I feel is another cup we should win. But again, overall, we did what we had to do. We know what we have to do against Austin. We got our payback. Now San Jose again. Let's continue the rhythm, and maybe we'll face a Mexican team, but it's not going to look like it.
But I mean, look at it. Here's San Jose. We got to get past them. I'm not trying to look too far past them. We got to get past them. But the next game after that could be Seattle again. Mm-hmm. If you look at the bracket, there's a chance we could play Seattle in every competition for big moments, right? They're that team. I don't think we paid in for that situation. Not at all. And if you're denigrating one, well, the different competitions, and ends up being the same team each time. It's funny. I'm humored. I'll say that. I'm humored at this point. And let's hope it happens that way. Just to prove a point. I'm good with that. All right. So looking at other things that was going on, Tony, do you have anything from the community before we throw it up to the supporters? I got a couple that have a few comments. Anything you want to throw in there?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of things going on, but the most important one is for me, myself, and supporters out there. we have a drum circle coming up this Friday at 8:30 or 8:30. What the hell? Sorry, wrong time. Like, let me get you the information. So many things to do. At 8 p.m. at Audiograph Beer, 1203 Olive Street, LA 915. We're come learn all the new chants, all ages. I know there's some chants that we're bringing in. 3252 has posted some of the new ones that we've been trying to put into the North End, and also learn the new ones. So this is also time, as well as that we will be recording, so we can put it out there, so newer supporters or people who are going into the North End can learn these chants and sing along with us.
There you go. There it is. Definitely head out if you can. I mean, traditionally we've done this for years, even before we had a stadium, right? As they're building the stadium, we were doing this stuff. So it's nice to get back to our roots. That's for certain. All right. So now we've got I didn't want to do the LAFC 2 update. I think I see Araceli has jumped on. There she is. I'm gonna have her jump on right now, just in time for the LAFC 2 update. Araceli, how are you doing tonight?
Actually doing very well. I just wrapped up our last match of the night with a shootout that felt like it would never end. So
Nice. How many did it go? How many rounds did it go?
16 rounds.
Oh, who did this?
It was Timbers 2 and Austin 2
Wow.
with a 3-3 draw.
That's a lot of work for 2 points, right?
It is, but it's the game.
Right. I mean, that's the expected competition. And now we're all playing in the same competition, right? With Leagues Cup, the same rules. So we've been bitten, that's for sure. But wow, 16 rounds. Wow. Now, LAFC 2, how are things going for the boys right now?
Actually, things are going fairly well with the boys. I have to admit, it feels like it's been a century since I've talked to LAFC 2. So I don't have a full breakdown, but what I do have is Matt Evans, who is on international duty representing Guatemala for the CONCACAF U20 Championship. He scored 1 goal and an assist for Guatemala as they reached the quarterfinals before a 1-0 defeat to the U.S. Going on to LAFC 2 this past weekend, they defeated Real Monarchs 2-1 at Titan Stadium. Monarchs opened the scoring with Keller Storley connecting on a corner to push in a header for his first goal of the season, but 11 minutes later, LAFC 2 is awarded a penalty, which Mueller equalizes from the spot. And late in the second half, I want to say it was the 84th minute, Mueller takes a cross from Brian Mayado and fires the chance through the defense for the game winner. Again, we saw Hassel back in goal where he recorded 6 saves, with the Monarchs dominating 55% of the possession. Next up, the boys will travel up to Thousand Oaks to face Ventura County in the third and final edition of El Traffic Chico this Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific time. The match will be streamed on Apple TV if you are unable to make it. And what I can tell you from it, I'll get into kind of the standings update in a second here, but what I can say from a league standpoint, this is one of the biggest matches for this weekend. I know our content team has been in Thousand Oaks for the past week doing interviews and so on. So there's a lot of hype being generated around this game. So if anyone is able to go, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Because leading up to it, looking kind of at the standings, Ventura is currently in third place with 36 points, and LAFC 2 is in sixth place with 33 points. So a win could easily put them up there with Ventura. And right now, they are both currently tied in the series, with LAFC 2 taking the first win back in April, and Ventura took the extra point in the shootout. back in July. So again, this is a very highly anticipated match, not only on a league level, but I say just generally speaking, given that the playoffs are literally around the corner at this point. Again, highly encourage everyone to go check it out.
It's massive. Now, I know one person that lives not too far from there, right, Tony?
Hometown.
Hey, there we go. Are you going to go, bro? You going to go there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there we go.
I was talking to some people and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go take a bus. You want to come?" I was like, "I am not driving all the way where you guys are meeting up to take the bus to where I go and stuff like that." But if you if you are there early and are there in time or something like that, have time to kill, and want some good pizza, Toppers is a great place to go. Just say one of the best in 805. It's one of the things we've been known for. My personal favorite, if you also want a good burger, is P&L Burger. Kind of close to CLU, a little bit off the offshoot, but not too far. So those are my two recommendations. They have 2 bars out there too, Tipsy Goat or Tarantula Brewing Co. as well as another one if you guys want to hang out for a little bit before the game.
There we go. So go say hi to Tony. Go out and support the boys if you're close enough to get there, right? I know some are traveling, so that's cool. That's cool on all of you making that trip because it's a big one. Again, playoffs are kind of on the line here, right, Araceli? If we lose this thing, consequences are pretty heavy.
It will definitely make the race a little bit tighter. As long as LAFC 2 can stay in the top 8 teams, they should still be okay. They might not host, but they will be at least in the playoff running because looking at the current schedule right now, the MLS Next Pro's decision day is October 6th. So it's literally around the corner at this point, which is very interesting too, because I'll just throw this out there very quickly. October 5th is when Sporting hosts LAFC here in town. And consequently, October 6th, for Decision Day, Sporting 2 will be hosting LAFC 2. So if anyone's traveling to KC, I'm just putting it out there.
See, I'm sure we'll get Ox there, right, Ox? If you're on here, I'm sure he'll make that trip. That's for sure. Again, decision days. I've had some bad experiences on decision days in Kansas City. I'll leave it at that. So maybe I wouldn't be good luck going on that trip. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, again, the boys make it. Get this win. We need to win the season series, dude. That's the important thing, especially against a rival, right? You want to get your points in and get your kicks in, and if the big team is dominating, well, guess what? The boys got to do the job too. So dig it. Let's make it happen. All right. So there are a few comments. Let's get a few of those out there. Let's see what you guys had to say. Beyond happy to have you guys, of course, jumping on this thing for another late night. Ooh, all the way to the top. We have David Day says we need a better field manager. Man, you can't make miracles. You cover that thing, what they covered in, this is what we end up with. There's no business even having a game if the field conditions are like that, but here we go. He didn't have a choice. I know who's doing it. There's not much you can get out of that one. Dave Gomez says, hello, familia. We're moving on and one step closer to a cup. That's the hope. David Day says yes, FCK, Necaxa. They're dead. They're gone. 5-0 loss. I was really looking forward to seeing those guys because that's one team I haven't got on my list yet. Not happening. Stuck with San Jose yet again. Dang you, San Jose. Yeah. Armando says, yes, Austin defender did not expect the ball to bounce that high over him. That's for sure. Thank the funky field conditions. A Seattle play. What? Yeah. Mendo says Oliveira is leading the league's cup score, or is that inaccurate? No, he's finishing, right? Tony, he's putting them away. No worries there. Yeah.
Surprisingly, he's putting them away.
Yeah.
He still has a lot of finishing coaching to do, but he's doing what he needs to do. Once he gets the opportunity and he has the right footing, I guess is the best way to say it, he'll put it away.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Since he came back from international duty, he's been a much better player. There's been much better coming from him. A little more aggressive, a little more swagger. He's putting the ball away, so he came back with a little extra from the Copa America, right? So good on him. Let's see. David A says Mexican fan influencers are suggesting that Liga MX teams are purposely not playing their best in Leagues Cup in a sort of protest. I don't think they're wrong. I'm not big on the tinfoil hat stuff, but I don't think they're wrong. I've seen some interesting results in this tournament, and it's not like all of a sudden MLS's level has advanced and the last place San Jose Earthquakes are a 5-goal better team than Necaxa. So let's be real here. I think they're taking it more serious than the Liga MX teams are. I think all of the MLS teams are. They all have something to prove. Does Liga MX? I don't think they do. They keep winning the big games. So what they got nothing to prove as far as I'm concerned. This is what it is. It's a tournament to make a couple bucks. If you get to play later in, cool. Make a few more bucks. But ultimately go home, don't get hurt because you have a tough season to play. Because they just started already too. So yeah, I think there might be something to that where the risk is measured. I'd say that. Protest, who knows? Wouldn't put it past anybody, but definitely they're not sticking their necks out. That's for sure. Mendo says, I think we're all rooting for Pumas at Seattle to host quarterfinal. BMO versus Pumas next round. Yeah, I mean, definitely want to host at home, and I get that for sure. Should be an interesting crowd if Pumas comes to our house. It's gonna be a lot of Pumas fans. Yeah, it's a big following, right, Tony?
Yeah, if they make it. I was surprised. Well, surprised, not surprised, because again, tinfoil hat, they're supposed to throw this game in order for the league to start early, but then it's like, again, we overlooked Vancouver and we didn't have the best side. Not taking anything away from Vancouver, but they decided to show up for the game and destroy a Canadian team.
Yeah. So that messed up our bracket, right?
Mhm.
It is what it is. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah. Otherwise, it's Seattle. Let's see. We've got Dave here. He says, if Liga MX teams did better, their story would change. I'm just saying, maybe. It's a vibe. That's for sure. David A says, rumor Liga MX is planning on restarting to play season games next week. Man, that would be horrible for the teams that are still in. That's a disadvantage, that's for sure. Yeah, that's tough. Let's see. Mendo says, America, St. Louis, Seattle, Toluca are on our side of the bracket and have home field advantage. So if the Liga MX teams advance and they have home field advantage, how does that even work? Where would we play? So complicated. So there it is. So I guess that's why the Pumas vibe. I get you guys. I get it. Oh, Mendo's asking this. This is a good question for you, Araceli. He says Mueller just had a brace, and there's some of us wondering why Martinez could do the same with the playing time. Do you think Martinez should get some time down with LAFC2 to work on things?
I don't see why not when Angel and Hassel and Duenas and other first teamers are also on the roster from time to time. So I would imagine he could, but I don't know if there's anything restricting that of why we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know why, because he could have rehabbed back down there, like right from the injury. Nothing. Just wait till he comes back to us. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a contract thing. Maybe Araceli's onto something here. I could see that, but man, he would. Watching what he does right now with him forcing the one-on-ones all the time, but looking kind of predictable and kind of making some ill decisions, I guess. It's just not quite what we're used to seeing from before he got injured. I mean, yeah, confidence builders are important, and we definitely need that from him. And Mueller, we haven't seen at all, right? He's disappeared for the top side, so maybe flip flop, something there. That's for sure. I don't disagree with that one at all. Before I get to the next comment, I see Bam is on. Looks like he's ready to jump on. So Bam, welcome back, sir, to this from the studio. Good stuff there. All is good, man.
Yeah, sorry, just the reception in my area is a bit dodgy on the phone. So when it drops out, especially around school pickup time, you know it's bad.
There it is. Well, we got you here just for the comments. So there's this conversation. David Day had another one on here. I'll throw it out there. It says, don't disagree. I think they thought they had much better than they have over both years, but the home field advantage issue is tough to justify. It's not about Liga MX seems kind of underperforming in this tournament. Do you think there might be an approach from these teams that's a little bit low risk, maybe, or they're not taking it as serious as you thought they might?
I think last year they took a bit more serious because they thought they would earn more money, if that makes sense. Now knowing how much money they're actually going to get, they look at it and go, what's the risk? Why risk players and have them hurt themselves for pennies on the dollar when what's more important to us is the league itself?
Right. So it's tough. Again, risks are there for us as well, right? We have a big star player drop out in this tournament. That's brutal, right? Or a player that we might sell for a lot of money very soon goes down with an injury and it messes that all up and messes up other people we're trying to get. I'm just saying, it's a risk. So good stuff, Bam. All right, let's see. Oh, Mendo's got a question for Araceli. He says, is there an age restriction with MLS Next Pro? What's the oldest a player can be?
As far as I'm aware, there is no age restriction because I have seen players like Kai Kamara play last season a few Next Pro games, and he's pushing 39 at this point. But I mean, I've definitely seen some veterans, just much like how one of the games today I was covering was Minnesota United 2. It was basically the first team playing that game. So again, I don't think there's really any age restriction.
There we go. So yeah, it's just the second division side. That's what it is. Development for the most part, but rehab for others. Thank you, Araceli, for that. David Day, gotta know, do we have a French themed tifo for Giroud debut? I'll just say things remain top secret. You know how that works, sir. I doubt it, but you never know. Mendoza says Dolo mentioned O'Brien has been training with the squad, just waiting on green light and papers. Yes, because that's another new signing for us, bolstering our midfield situation. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a wait and see on the papers. Once he's good to go, he's good to go. We definitely need it. So yeah, we need him in there too, just because of the amount of games we keep putting in. So yeah. Al Hopkins says international tourneys make it tough, but should we move up Leagues Cup before summer? I think we should scrap it, to be honest. That's me. But when will we move it up though? That's tough because if you're moving up Leagues Cup, now you're competing with other stuff. And for Liga MX, it gets even more complicated. Maybe it shouldn't be a whole month. Maybe that, lower the amount, make it just a 1-game knockout. Right? Crazy bracketology. Something different. That could be fun too. I'd be down with that. Your thoughts, guys? Tony, what do you think?
I don't. This cup is, yeah.
You're like me. Yeah, we're playing it because we're playing it. If we win, we win. Cool. Otherwise, move on and rest for the next one. D. Velez says 1 game at a time, but imagine LAC versus Pumas, a packed stadium, and Giroud debut. Dude, Pumas, I think they're going to come hard for that one. There's just so many Pumas fans out this way. So they can get feisty too, dude. Like, honestly, there's some passion there. So lots of passion there. That should get interesting if that does happen. That's for sure.
I'm going to say now, I
yeah.
don't want Drew to play this tournament.
Kind of with you on that one too. Yeah, I'm there. I get you. Keep them healthy. We got to make a run. That matters more than anything else. And who knows? Maybe Griezmann will be debuting at the same time. Who knows? Like, Fun rumors, I must admit. Sounds real, doesn't it, guys? Yeah. Can't much add to that. It's just cool. Just to know that we're taking a stab, man. I like it. Mendo's got a question. How soon will Tillman be back? Put my arms in the air because every time we give you guys an injury update, the guy plays the next game and it says he's out for 2 weeks. So misinformation is prime when it comes to injury reports. So yeah, we're not sure. Tony, you saw him at the game. He seemed to be looking okay, right?
He was training before. As soon as I saw him training while we were setting up, I'm like, "You're not playing today. I'm sorry." Like, it
Yeah.
didn't. It seems like he's still coming off like his little injury bug. So we'll see. But I don't expect him probably until maybe 2 more weeks, I'll say. But who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us all and be ready for Tuesday.
Exactly. Again, you got to be careful with Tillman at this point. If you get any knock, you just don't take risks on these guys. If you don't have to hurry it, don't hurry it. It's San Jose. Like, I know, respect the opponent, but do you really want to risk against San Jose in the Leagues Cup match? Nah, no way. No way. Same with Giroud. Could you imagine wasting him on that game? Like, it's not happening. Expect something different. Yeah. Roberto Hernandez was actually up here commenting about season ticket stuff, and I don't mind taking a stab, guys. Honestly, my pocketbook is hurting just as much as yours as we get into these tournaments. So, he said 8:15 they took a payment, and then today took a payment. Dude, that was quick on the payment. I must admit, that was like the game ended, and the next morning I got charged for the next game. It was fast. I get you, man. Things add up quick for me too. I think for me the biggest issue is with this new tournament, the parking. We're not getting a break at all in the parking, man. It's brutal, and it adds up when you go to that stadium. So yeah, it ain't good. In terms of payments, yeah, I mean, I'm a little foggy when it kicked off, but yeah, it's a membership payment, not not in. And the season cuts. Well, our memberships are July when they roll over. It's not like the regular season setup, so it is funky. It's definitely funky. But yeah, a double hit to the account that you're not expecting is never going to be fun for anybody, man. That makes it tight for everybody. So I get you. I do. Um, let's see. Daniel Angel, good stuff. He says, put some respect on Gage Knudsen. He does the best with the circumstances. In case you don't know, Gage is the man that tends to our fields and makes it work. And if you've seen the pristine conditions of our training center, our performance center, let me say it right. You know the work he puts in. Honestly, the field conditions that we deal with because of all the events our stadium loves to host, they take a beating, and it's kind of hard on the recovery side there. They've worked some crazy mirror. I've been on that field after. It's rough, guys. They don't get much of an option on some of this, especially when the stage goes down. It just crushes everything. It destroys it. Sometimes to the point where it's like, well, I might as well just sod this thing out again and be done with it. It's rough. It's rough. Again, it's something to talk about in terms of quality of play and what the stadium was built for. That's a whole nother conversation to have. Because sticking in two major events in the middle of a tournament is a little wild to me, and then hosting as well. It's a bit wild, that's for sure. Mendo looking at the way to sneak Vela back in, says no age restriction means Vela will get LAFC call up for fitness. He returns. Just playing. You never know with that guy. Let's see. Daniel Angel, hamstring is not 2 weeks. I see that comment from you. Al was talking about Liga MX matchups are going to only get better. True. And he's looking for the Giroud vibe. That's for sure. And I'm just looking for him to be ready for us for the run. I think that's where a lot of us are at. All right. So there we go. We do have Vinyl Club Minute. Let's run into that mix. Oh, yeah. And also, guys, add in later in the episode when we do the preview for San Jose, apparently. And then, yeah, I want to hear from you guys on that as well as we preview the next one. So, Vinyl Club Minute. I just throw it out to you guys every time at this point. What's on the playlist, everybody? Who's got a favorite here? Bam, you got anything? What will you plan on the road home? You can throw it that way.
On the road home, let's see. What's my Spotify? What was the last thing that I played? Last thing I played was I don't know. It's not friendly for the chat for the podcast. Put it that way.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's a metal techno band called Combi Christ, and the album was Everybody Hates You.
I know that band. Check you out.
I've seen them live.
Okay.
I've seen them live.
Nice, dude. Nice. You're like me with Rammstein, dude. It's like if they're live, I have to go. Yes, I get you. I get you. Funny, I've been in a metal mood too, man. And after the Olympic thing, I've been listening to a lot of Gojira just because they're kind of awesome. Yeah, there's been a lot of metal lately. Not gonna lie. So you can throw that on mine. Tony, what do you got? What do you got on the playlist, sir?
What do I have? Oh, easy. Big Dogs by Aman Khan, I think. It is an Indian rapper.
Hey.
It is probably one of the best songs I've probably heard in a minute from probably hard if you want a gym sesh or something like that, just to get in the mood. That's been my thing.
There we go. There we go. And then Araceli rounding it out. Playlist. What you listening to lately?
I have to admit, mine's a little embarrassing. I've just been listening to a lot of Beso Pluma lately because he's a hot topic right now.
There we are. There. I like it. We got the list, guys. I know Tony's dying over there. Yeah, I get you. And not something I would be jumping on as well, but yeah, there you go, guys. Little metal vibes.
Not the Beso Pluma part. It's just Beso Pluma at Hot Topic does not mix, but whatever.
Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's what she said.
It said he's like he's going viral right now on TikTok. He's like a hot topic right now.
Okay.
Not the score, the vibe. Okay. I was like, Hot Topic. That no way.
I mean, people are talking about Hot Topic too, but not in the same sentence.
Yeah, I go buy stuff for the kids, but whatevs. That's Hot Topic for me now. I'll let that go.
Oh, Hot Topic isn't what it used to be. I'll just leave it at that.
No, it's not. It's not. We could talk about that all day too. All right, let's see here. I guess we're just gonna do this. Let's preview this bad boy. All right, that's right. On Tuesday, we're playing the San Jose Earthquakes for the 8 millionth time. I know we were looking for something really cool, Liga MX, and it didn't quite happen because Necaxa just decided to do something to the bed that I can't quite say on air, but that's what they did. 5-0 defeat and a red card to boot. Ugly. They allowed goals by Yul, Lopez, Ebavise. Oh God, just keeps going and going and going. 2 by Ebavise, but all bad news for those guys. They're looking pretty normal, less than normal, pretty terrible. A little surprising against the last place team in MLS and the favorites to take home the wooden spoon again. What a shock, right? All right, so that's who we're dealing with. Am I writing them off? Hell no. They have found ways to hurt us when we least expect it. Right, guys? We've been frustrated many times by this team, even though we have kind of owned them for the most part. They do have those ways to sober us up. Now, what lineup did they go with? Necaxa, shocker, a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, built for the counter. Yarbrough was back in goal. No shock there. Rodriguez and Mooney were their center backs. Kikanovic and Costa were their outside backs. Grueso and Yuel were running the midfield with Lopez as the attacking midfielder. Interesting. Espinoza on the right, Pellegrino on the left, and Ebavise up top. Guys we know very well. A system we've already dealt with. We know what they do. I think other names that came into this game, again, familiar faces. Tanner Beeson, yeah. Sakaris, yes. Alfredo Morales got minutes. Preston Judd got minutes. Familiar faces in a team that struggled for this season. I think they've underperformed. I know you're like, this them. Yeah, but that's real. They've been really bad. So not bad in this tournament, though. I think because of their season being the way it is, this is the thing they get to hang on to this year. I think this is what we're dealing with the team. Like, hey, we've got a knockout tournament. We could make a run and do something interesting. Maybe we can build off of this to get our mojo back and at least get competitive this year. And you're seeing that, right? It's a different vibe from them, and they're getting the results. Now, in terms of the season, again, not a lot of goals being scored. Their top scorer so far is Pellegrino with 5 total for the season. Yeah, like I said, they've had a power outage. Let's be real. It would be say with 4. Of course, he gets 2 tonight. So League's Cup, he's producing. It's a little different. Other names, Christian Espinoza, of course, he stood out the most this year and still been consistent with 10 assists on the year. And of course, always stepping up in these games. He always provides something. Costa's got a few assists, and otherwise it drops off pretty fast. Hard year, that's for sure, but dangerous in terms of when they play us. So it ain't going to be easy. We got to be on our game. That is for sure. Bam, I'm going to go to you, sir. Are you concerned about the match on Tuesday?
Always got to be concerned with San Jose because to them, this is a massive game for them. They've always wanted to try and beat us. We've got to see what Mike does this game, see if he pops up or not. But it's really what BBC can do.
Mike D in the mix. It'd be funny if the real Mike D shows up to one of these games. I'm just saying. I'm not not past it, but yeah, the real Mike D. Tony, I'll jump over to you, sir. Are you concerned at all?
I'm concerned because it's like we can't overlook them. As soon as we overlook an opponent, it's just straight danger for us in general. So this might be their own opportunity to get it into Champions League. Like I said, if you win the tournament, you get an opportunity to get into Champions League. So I wouldn't look past them, and I would make sure they would probably show up for us.
Here's something interesting as I look at their stats. 7 of their goals, I believe it's all 7 of their goals, have come from open play. That's a little weird, right? They've played a little better. We'll say that. They have taken out Carson in this process. We do know that. They took out Guadalajara in penalties. That was a little surprising, to say the least. I don't know. They look a little different in this tournament. They don't look so hot in league, but they do look different in this one. And again, a little bit inspired. Araceli, to get the result in this game, what do we need to do?
I think that LAFC just simply, once they put their foot on the gas, just keep going. Don't get comfortable. Keep the momentum. Steer the game as best as they can, because it's just much like how Tony just said. There's really no concern in the sense of we know how San Jose plays, but it really comes down to LAFC, making those little silly mistakes as they tend to do sometimes. We cannot overlook San Jose and just stay focused, really.
Exactly. And it's going to be dirty. It's going to be nasty. It's what they do to us. There will be some knocks in this game. That's for sure. And of course, Ebabise finds ways to hurt us. It just trips me out. He's got 4 goals in Leagues Cup and 4 goals in league play. There he goes again. Just a little weird. So, yeah, dealing with what they're going to deal with possible lineup. Like I said, I told you what it is. I don't think there's going to be much changes to that. Bam, back to you, sir. Do you see any other changes to what they're going to do in this thing, or that's who we're going to see?
That's what we're going to see. Don't really see many changes from them normally, so I don't see why they'll change it now.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. All right, so the better question is us. What are we going to do? How are we going to field against a team that we know has struggled in the league, but seem to be finding footing in a tournament like this? What do we go with? What do we play with? Is it going to be our A lineup, no messing around, back to the league level lineup, A team, or rotate still? Tony first. Top lineup, mixed lineup. What are you going with?
I'm gonna probably go top lineup. I feel like we have to just, if we're gonna take this seriously, take it seriously and just go with the top lineup.
There you go. So top line, I think most games we've been seeing, it's been Bwanga on the left, Bogus on the right, Kamara up top, but now Oliveira's in the mix. Bam, what's your top line going to look like? What are you going to see up front?
Up front, obviously, Bouanga. I'm going to say it's the same lineup as last game.
With the kid?
Yeah, I reckon start the kid.
Starting the kid. All right. Tony, you starting the kid or are you going with veteran presence?
Veteran presence, Oliveira.
Okay, and Bogus is your center forward or Kamara?
Kamara.
Bogus not in the lineup?
Bogus midfield.
Ooh, because Tillman's not going to play in this thing. So is your midfield going to be Atuesta, Sanchez, Bogus?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Brings us to the back line. I'm going to go over to Araceli here. Now, are we going to play 3 center backs? We're going to go back to our standard 4. What are you thinking?
I think it's gonna be the exact same. You don't fix what's not broken. It seems to be working.
The 3 center back setup?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so same 3 as last time, right? That's the strongest ones.
Yeah, I say it's the same 3 with Long, Chanot, and Maria.
There we go. So again, with that kind of a lineup, then you're saying that probably Palencia Campos will just patrol down the lines?
I see that being a very strong possibility because if I'm honest, I'm a little hesitant to. I mean, obviously, I would like to see some roster rotation to try to keep the boys as healthy as possible, given the schedule that literally right after Leagues Cup, MLS play starts right up. Then you have Open Cup. So it's kind of, you don't want to change the roster, but you do.
Right.
But
Right.
knowing Dolo and how limited he is with roster rotation, I'm with Bam. I really don't see any changes.
So Bam's also playing with the wing back lineup. Okay. Tony, you playing the 4-3-3 with what we were talking about, or are you going to look at wing backs?
If 4-3-3. I'm looking for the.
You're going back to the original, the classic.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me feels like we're going to go back to the classic as well. Why? Because it works against San Jose. I think that it matches well. I just think it'll be a little bit different though. I think Kamara gets his way up front. I do. I think maybe where Tony's at, we're looking at Martinez, the kid running out there, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's hard to keep Olvera off the field too, but I think Bogus is the story. So yeah. I would go age on this one. I would, and bring in Hollingshead too, but that's me. It's a grinder. I need grinders out there. I just feel that's the San Jose approach. So there goes that. All right. And their side, we know it's going to be there. I see a couple comments from everybody. Let's throw it out there to you guys as well before we wrap this bad boy up for another episode of the Heart of LAFC podcast. Let's see. We've got Bendo looking at parking options. Grand West 39th. Liquor store parking to avoid traffic. There you go. That's funny. Oh, question for Bam. You ever go to Ozfest, dude? See, Mendo threw that out there for fun.
No, can't say I have.
There you go.
I'm not a massive festival person. I would rather just go see shows from certain artists and all that. Like I did go to Soundwave a few years ago and had a choice of going to see Metallica or Offspring. Went to Offspring and heard the Metallica set was horrendous. So I'd rather see Metallica in their own show.
Because it's all shortened in festivals. You don't get the vibe.
Yeah,
or the pyro. Or the pyro, man. Come on now. You're not going to get that. I get you. Alice predicting the 3-4-3 again. With Tillman being out. Makes sense. I get you. Daniel Angel's looking for Kamara in, Oliveira off the bench. It works. Mendo's messaging San Jose, Vancouver, Seattle Galaxy. We can face other opponents yearly. There you go. And Ox is checking in from Kansas. So there it is, guys. All right. Thank you all for that comment. Keeping it going. Yes, sir.
Ox, I hope you had a great birthday the other day.
There it is. Happy birthday, sir. The busy boy. He is middle of the night checking in with us again, guys. He's coming in from Kansas, dude. It's not early, right, Araceli? Not early.
I was gonna say, so am I. I'm in Kansas.
I know. We're just so used to you here. We just like assume, yeah, she's down the street. It's all cool.
You're not the only one. Trust me. Everyone thinks I'm from LA at this point. But I'm in KC, and it is literally 1 a.m. over here now.
There it is. Late at night, 11 o'clock here. So there it is. Again, she sacrifices for all you guys, so be thankful. I know we're thankful. That's for sure. All right. Ox is going back to work, which means we're all getting out of here too. So there goes that. Let's get ready for the game next week, guys. Looking forward to taking those dudes down because let's be honest, we love beating up on the Smurfs. It's a pastime. It is still a pastime last time I checked, and they are still an in-state rival. So we'll do it that way, right? That's your motivation. Take those fools down. All right. On that note, then let's jump on to the final thoughts, everybody. I will go with Bam's final thoughts since we got him live and it's working. What are your thoughts, man?
Final thoughts is this weekend, go out, be safe, have fun. If you don't have much to do this weekend, watch the Olympics. It's once every 4 years. Get around it. Learn some interesting sports. Like I love getting around. There's a few sports I like getting around, like European handball. Love that. That's an amazing sport. Get into it. Reach out to your friends. Reach out to your family. Conversations can save a life. Mental health does matter. You know the spiel. I always say it week in, week out. Go for a drink. Go for a coffee. Go for a walk in the beach. Enjoy the summer while you have it. And just enjoy yourself, guys.
There we go. Thank you, Bam, for that. And yes, I'm with you, man, on the Olympic vibes. Also, guys, this is training because it's coming here next for the summer, at least, right? So get used to some of these sports because you're probably going to pay a lot of money to go see them, even on sports you don't understand. You're still going to go pay the money because you want to see something and not miss out. Let's be real about that. So I'll see y'all at dressage. You're like, what the hell is that? Trust me, we'll all be there because it's one thing we can afford. There it is.
If Snoop goes to it, you can go to it.
Oh man, I mean I'm all into the shooting sports right now. It's been fun to watch. I mean, bro, skeet trap, I'm all about it. This is cool. The rapid fire, I'm digging it. I'm in. So it's been fun. That's for sure. Araceli, so you can actually go to bed. Your final thoughts today?
Hey, I'm good. I took a nap earlier, but for my final thoughts, as you guys can see, I'm finally back. Glad to be back. I was on the road for a while. If you didn't know, I was in Columbus for MLS All-Star, and then I took a short vacation after that. So just being on the road, honestly, it's a great feeling. But being back home is even better. I wish I can be there with you guys for Sunday's match with LAFC too, but unfortunately, scheduling just did not line up for this. But yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting couple of weeks to say the least.
A busy one. You've earned a rest. That is for sure. And we commend you for all that you do. It's been awesome. Keep it going though. It's brilliant. Tony, he's sitting there. I know he's a little tired from last night. Final thoughts, my friend?
Final thoughts is just get a good rest this weekend. If you guys are gonna go to Thousand Oaks and watch LAFC 2, I'll see you guys there. Have fun and just have a fun weekend while we can until Tuesday.
There it is, coming quick, guys. It'll be here before you know it. Guess that leaves it to me and my final thoughts, and I'll leave it like this. Thank you, everyone that went out and put the time in and went to the game last match. I know it's a hard one to get to, so to all of you, I commend all of you. Even though I wasn't able to make it, in spirit because of you guys, right? It happened. So keep that up. It's amazing for those who never miss. For me, it's been 3 total missed, none league. Yeah, I know. Let's not keep that trend going. I got to get back into the mix. So there you go. Yeah, on that note, of course, look out for each other. It's critically important to communicate with your friends. Make sure you know where everybody's at, what they're doing. Have fun this weekend. Since we don't have a game this weekend, well, hey, go out and enjoy it. It's a beautiful summer day. Enjoy the Olympics like Bam said, but definitely enjoy your days. That's for sure. And get rested, get ready. Let's kick the crap out of San Jose on Tuesday. And I will leave it at that. Final word to Bam.
Stay golden.
Araceli.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And for me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.